Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the solar eclipse. It is on March 29. It's at 9 degrees of Aries. This is the last Aries eclipse that we're going to have until October 2032. And then on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries for the first time in 164 years. What does this mean for you? That's what we're going to talk about. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to do a short overview, and then we're going to look at your sign in particular and love and money. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you would like a copy of your chart so you can follow along in these videos, I'll send you a PDF. There's a link in the description. An eclipse closes a door in your life, and it forces you to move forward. We had 18 months of Aries Libra eclipses, and this put a focus on yourself and one-on-one relationships. And 2 weeks ago, we started the 18-month cycle of Virgo Pisces eclipses, where the focus is on taking our spiritual ideas and our vision of what could be and applying this to our daily lives. Eclipses disrupt the status quo. And as disruptive as they are, it is almost always the case that we look back on these times and think that it was necessary and beneficial. But at the time, it can feel uncomfortable. This particular eclipse is at 9 degrees of Aries. I give a 5-degree orb. That means if you have any planets between 4 degrees and 14 degrees, you are getting hit by this eclipse. If you have planets in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you're getting a harder hit. And if this eclipse falls within 5 degrees of your birthday, you are getting a direct hit. So that means that some aspect in your life is going to change. We'll talk about where the changes might be for you when we talk about the individual signs. But it is beneficial for you to look at your life and what you have been wishing to change, even though maybe you're not feeling ready for that change. Because when you ask questions like that, when you say what should change in my life, what could change in my life, you are starting to train your mind to look for opportunities. Now, we had a very similar eclipse back in October 2024. It was on October 2nd, and it was at 10 degrees of Libra. Libra is the opposite sign to Aries, and so there is a similar energy. So think about what was happening back in October of 2024. Maybe you are finishing up some of that energy with this current eclipse, or maybe you need to make some additional changes in that same area of life, or maybe somehow you avoided making a change then, and now the changes are happening. Now, besides this eclipse, on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries. It did this last time on April 13th, 1861. Now, for you history buffs out there, you may recognize that date. That was the day after the Civil War in the United States began. And so that back then was all about divisions, and right now we are a very divided people. Energies like this tend to repeat, giving us an opportunity to improve and make things better. Neptune represents our vision, the idealized version of what we want to create in our lives. But it also rules nightmares and fear. And so it's both the utopian ideas and the dystopian ones. It's two sides of the same coin. Since our thoughts become our actions and our actions become our life, it's important now to find the vision of what it is you want to create in your life. And then you'll be able to work to make that a reality. Now, I know that does not sound easy in this world today, but it's worth trying. It's worth working towards. And with Neptune, it doesn't mean keeping your head in the clouds. Your vision may include very practical things that you're doing, maybe in your community to fight for your kids' education, or to keep books in schools, or to have equality and opportunity for everyone. And then soon Saturn's going to enter the sign of Aries. And so with Saturn, the ideas that you formulated using the Neptune energy, then the Saturn sees as blueprints, and it starts constructing your life. Okay, Cancer, this eclipse is in your area of career because it's right at the top of your chart. And that does mean that there are some changes possible. That can be with your job or in the company that you own or in the management of the company that you work for. So there are some changes going on, or they may be related to a family member, and being that you're Cancer, that you are feeling that as well. And then as Neptune goes into Aries right at the top of your chart, you are going to start to see that the boundaries and impediments between you and what you want are starting to dissolve, and that you have more ability to manifest what it is that you are putting out there in the universe. And so you do want to look for the things that you want and not get so caught up in the emotions of it that other people are experiencing. You have the gift of empathy, which means that you can really understand where people are coming from. And the best use of that is to let them know that, you know what they're going through. So, but not to take on and absorb all of their issues or problems or things like that. So Neptune also conveys a level of fame, which means that your name can be out there in the world in this positive way. So that can help you gain more social media followers, or have your resume seen by more people, or you can just meet more people who could be helpful in your life. So you can now go out and form community. And through that community, then you can help each other. And if you would like to know more about what's ahead for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, the moon's making a sextile to Pluto. That's a very nice aspect. With a sextile, you have to take some sort of initiating action, so you have to begin the process. And that might mean posting your online profile, or updating the one you have, or saying yes to a date, or reaching out to someone to ask them on a date. But if you start some sort of action, then basically everything rolls forward, just on inertia. So it's like you give things a little push and then they go in the right direction. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, the moon's not making an aspect with Saturn. So the two of you are a little out of sync this time. And that can be that one of you is very much pushing forward on something that you're doing, and then the other one is still hanging back, maybe not ready to push forward, or is working on something else, maybe finishing up something from the past. And so the being out of sync is not necessarily terrible. It can feel like you're not in touch with the person, or that you're not like you're not in harmony like you usually are. But this is a temporary aspect, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that there's some bigger issue. This is more about that the two of you sometimes are going to be a little bit more individual, and then you will come back together as a unit. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from the sun, which is at the top of your chart, and this is that your skills, your experience, your abilities are basically that money in the bank. This is, money in the bank is really, really nice, of course, but money is transitory. Markets go up and markets go down, and things work for a while and then they don't. But the skills and abilities that you have, those are yours to keep. And so this is a time where those skills and abilities that you have are considered more valuable. And so this is a time where you can take what you know and take the experience that you have and apply that to directly improve your financial situation. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, the sun's making a semi-square to Uranus. So this is an aspect, so that means that you can make more money over the next 2 weeks. However, the semi-square says it's stuff that you probably don't want to do, and you may be procrastinating about it. Now, if that's the case, then you want to see if you can't delegate this or streamline it in some way, or change it in some way to make it a little bit more palatable, or just grit your teeth and push through it. So but it is about overcoming that procrastination that is going to help you get this money flowing. And so sometimes what I do is I'll just set a timer and say, I'm going to do 2 minutes of this. And then I end up, working on it for an hour or two. So it's just, sometimes it's just about getting started. Now, when it comes to money from career, so that would be a paycheck, the sun is not making an aspect with Venus. And so the energy here is the timing's not quite right for asking for a raise or trying to get more from the job. You have so much new job energy and shifts and changes. It's quite possible that either this is a new job for you or you're just about to get a new job. So, or that there's so much flux going on in your company, it's just not quite the right time to be asking. So this energy will line up in the future. It's actually going to line up really nicely in the near future. So, but over this 2 weeks, this is something that it's not as easy to get done. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider signing up for my newsletter where I talk about astrological happenings every week. And if you would like to know personally what is up for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description, and I will see you in the next video.